Discover the incredible act of love that changed everything for a billionaire's dying daughter. The bell above the door jingled as Jenna Hart hurried to her usual post at Maplewood's local diner, where the aroma of fresh coffee mingled with the sweet scent of pancakes. Every morning felt like a race against the clock, one she was losing with every bill that crept into her mailbox. Her heart ached beneath a weight that grew heavier by the day. Her daughter Lily, her bright-eyed, spirited 10-year-old, needed an expensive medical procedure that Jenna could barely scratch together rent for. The regulars filled the booths, their familiar faces providing a comfort she desperately needed, like family. Old Mr. Thompson, with his rumpled newspapers and endless stories, nodded approvingly when she poured his coffee. But even as she cracked jokes and wiped tables, her eyes frequently darted to the back corner, where Lily sat with her sketchbook, drawing in silence. That sweet, fragile girl, the very essence of Jenna's hope, was fighting a battle that Jenna wished she could take on herself. In a high-rise office overlooking the bustling streets of New York City, Adam Prescott held a glass of scotch, feeling the sharp burn slide down his throat. The billionaire CEO, a far cry from the boy who scrabbled through the dirt roads of Maplewood, had made his name by gliding through the corporate world. Yet when he received the call about Lily's serious condition, his world flipped upside down. The child he never acknowledged, the daughter born from a painful past, was now in desperate need. The news flew through Maplewood like wildfire, igniting a storm of emotions. Jenna felt panic rise to her throat as she scrambled through options, desperate pleas for help echoing in her mind. The weight of it all was suffocating. She couldn't afford the procedure, and the clock was ticking ever louder. Adam, now wrestling with the regret of years lost, realized he needed to do something for the daughter he barely knew. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. When their worlds finally collided, it was in that little diner, amidst the clanking of plates and the low murmur of conversation. Jenna, startled to see him, instantly felt the sting of anger and betrayal. His eyes were haunted, filled with a pain she recognized all too well. "I want to help," Adam proclaimed, but his words felt like a taunt, a reminder of how far he had been from their lives. Outside, Maplewood was buzzing with whispered conversations about the wealthy outsider, the man who could change everything for Lily. But as he proposed to fund the treatment, Jenna's determination sparked anew. "This isn't charity," she shot back, her voice shaky with raw emotion. The community might see him as a savior, but she saw a man who had left them behind. Her daughter's dignity meant more than a handout from an outsider. In that moment of strife, they stood at a crossroads, divided by choices made long ago, yet united by a shared truth, the fierce love for the little girl between them. Jenna's chest tightened, the stakes felt impossibly high, and beneath the weight of uncertainty, their hearts beat in a fragile rhythm. Who would step forward first? Would either surrender to the vulnerability that true love demands? The answers loomed as heavy as the impending storm, leaving the fate of a little girl hanging in the balance. Jenna glared at Adam, fire and fear swirling in her chest. Her instincts screamed at her to protect Lily, to guard her from a man she perceived as a ghost from a broken past. "You think you can just waltz in here, throw money at us, and everything will be okay?" she challenged, her voice trembling but resolute. Adam stepped back, taken aback by the force of her words. "I don't want to just throw money at you," he countered, his voice strained, almost pleading. "I want to be part of Lily's life. I owe her that." His eyes held an intensity that caught her off guard. For the first time, she saw not just a billionaire, but a man burdened with regret. Jenna paused, the tension enveloping them like a thick fog. Could she allow herself to imagine a different future? One where Lily had not only the medical care she needed, but also a father? The thought sent shivers down her spine. The diner buzzed around them, oblivious to their standoff. The clatter of dishes and laughter melted away into a distant hum as the weight of their history pressed against them. "What do you want from us, Adam?" Jenna asked, the anger dissipating but not her uncertainty. "You can't just play the hero now when you've been absent all these years. Lily deserves more than your money. She deserves your love." Adam's expression softened, his brow creasing in thought. "I know, I can't change the past, but I can try to make things right. I want to be there. Please, let me help. As her father." Each word sounded like a step closer, yet they were both still standing on fragile ground. "I can't promise you more than that." Jenna's heart raced as a flurry of emotions crashed inside her, hope, fear, and a flicker of the longing she had buried deep for so long. Would she be opening a door too wide, one that might lead to pain as well as healing? A small voice interrupted their heavy atmosphere. "Mom?" Lily's soft inquiry drew both their attentions. She sat at the booth, her big brown eyes wide, clutching her sketchbook like a shield. Jenna felt her heart twist. Here was the embodiment of all that was at stake. "Lily, sweetie." Jenna opened her mouth, but the right words tangled in her throat. She needed to protect her daughter, but she also wanted her to know there were possible paths to hope. Lily looked from Jenna to Adam, confusion flickering across her face. "Is he going to help me?" she asked, her innocence breaking through the tension. Jenna's heart sank, caught between the protective mother and the yearning for something they both desperately needed. I don't know yet," she stammered. Adam took a cautious step forward, now leaning closer to the little girl. "I would do anything to help you, Lily. I promise I won't let you down again." His voice was softer, laced with sincerity, something Jenna hadn't expected. Lily tilted her head, studying him as if weighing his sincerity. The weight of the moment hung thick in the air. Could she trust him? Could Jenna? Jenna felt time slow as she sought the glitter of hope in her daughter's eyes. But as she looked back at Adam, she wondered, what would happen if they both took a chance? What kind of future could unfold if they opened themselves up to vulnerability and love? "Mom, what do you think?" Lily's voice pulled her back, tightening the knot of decision in Jenna's gut. And in that fragile moment, amidst fear and hope, Jenna knew she had to make a choice. She could feel the storm brewing outside, but inside, another kind of storm was awakening, a whirlwind of possibilities. As voices faded to whispers around them, she took a deep breath, ready to confront the reality they all faced. Would she let Adam be part of Lily's life, or would she shut that door forever, bearing the weight alone? The diner fell into a stillness that pulsated with potential. Jenna's heart raced as she prepared to choose the path forward. The moment had arrived, yet it felt as if the real story was just beginning to unfold. How could she ever be ready for what might come next? Jenna inhaled slowly, her heart pounding like a drum. Just looking at Lily's expectant face consumed her thoughts. What if she took the leap? What if Adam could truly change, could really be the father Lily deserved? Yet the memories, the pain of the past, clawed at her, reminding her of the trust that had once been shattered. "Mom?" Lily's little voice tugged at her heartstrings, bringing Jenna's attention back. She was looking for guidance, clarity. Jenna felt an unfamiliar heaviness settle on her shoulders. This wasn't just about her anymore. It was about Lily, and what kind of life she wanted for her. She found herself saying, almost as if the words were slipping through her fingers. The uncertainty hung in the air like a fog, thick and suffocating. Adam shifted slightly, as if anchored by her indecision. "Take your time," he replied gently, but there was a flicker of disappointment in his eyes. Jenna caught it, and for a fleeting moment, she felt the weight of his hopes. "Lily, why don't you draw a bit?" Jenna suggested, forcing a smile. She needed a moment to breathe.
to think beyond the din of the diner and the whirlwind of emotions swirling around her. Lily nodded, hugging her sketchbook closer. She flipped to a blank page, her pencil dancing across it. Jenna watched as her daughter's concentrated expression eased the tightness in her chest. It was always mesmerizing to see Lily create. It was almost like magic. Adam watched too, his gaze softening. "She's talented," he murmured, pride lacing his voice. Jenna shot him a glance, searching for the familiar arrogance that had often frustrated her. Instead, it appeared as if Adam was peeling away layers of himself, revealing a man yearning to connect. "She is," she replied, her tone cool, but her heart warring with emotion. "Would you allow me to watch her from time to time, to be around?" His question cut through her silent contemplation, vulnerability etched across his features. Jenna felt the flicker of hope again, stirring yet cautious. "You want to be part of her life, but how do we know you can be reliable?" "I can prove it," he said, his voice steady now. "I can show you. Let me take you both out, just the three of us. No fancy dinners, just a day to see who I am now. Give me that chance." "What if it backfires?" The fear was raw, spilling from her lips. What if Lily grew to depend on him only to have him vanish again? "Then you can walk away. No strings attached." He held her gaze, unwavering, his sincerity shining through the dim diner lights. Jenna bit her lip, torn between protecting her daughter and the sliver of possibility that shimmered just beyond her apprehensions. "Okay," she finally whispered, the breath leaving her body, as if freeing a long-held secret. "But it's only a day, a chance to see if—" "Thank you," Adam breathed, relief washing over him. A flicker of something more ignited within her, though she still felt anchored by doubt. "Can I take my sketchbook?" Lily interrupted, eyes still focused downward. Jenna nodded, the moment reminding her of how often she had had to choose for both of them. As the three of them left the diner, Jenna glanced back, her heart racing. The decision felt weighty but hopeful. Maybe stepping into the unknown could lead to something good. However, as they stepped out into the bustling world outside, Jenna was suddenly struck by an unsettling thought. "Mom," Lily's voice broke into her thoughts, "are we really going to have fun?" Jenna forced herself to smile, but as she glimpsed Adam's hopeful expression, she internally braced for the emotional storm that still lay ahead. Could they truly start over? With every step forward, the echoes of the past were still close behind. The chance of hope and the fear of loss were intertwined, casting a shadow over their path. What would tomorrow bring? Would the day they had agreed to become a lifeline or another heartbreak? Jenna's mind raced as they walked. She felt a tangle of emotions, the iridescent thread of hope intertwined with the familiar weight of fear. The streets bustled with life, but she felt detached, swirling in her own whirlwind of thoughts. Lily skipped happily ahead, sketchbook clutched against her chest, unaware of the tension brewing behind her innocent smile. "Where should we go tomorrow?" Adam's voice broke through Jenna's reverie, every word laced with anticipation. His infectious enthusiasm caught her off guard. "Maybe the park," Jenna suggested hesitantly. "There's a lake where they have paddle boats." "Perfect," Adam beamed, a boyish joy lighting up his features. He looked at Lily, who was spinning in circles with delight, utterly immersed in her own world. "What do you think, kiddo? You up for a little adventure?" Lily's eyes sparkled, her usual shyness melted away by the prospect of fun. "Can we feed the ducks?" she asked eagerly, her voice laced with excitement. "Absolutely," Adam answered, his own enthusiasm growing as he watched her. Jenna felt a flicker of warmth in her heart. It was so easy to get swept up in their joy, yet the shadows of doubt lingered nearby. As they walked through the busy sidewalk, Jenna absorbed the little moments, the way Adam brushed his hair back when he was excited, the softness in his laughter when he spoke to Lily. Each detail peeled away layers of resentment, leaving vulnerability in its wake. But just as Jenna began to relax, a darker thought shoved its way in. What did Adam truly want? Was this about him wanting to play the role of a dad, or was it about redeeming himself, trying to fix what was broken? She bit her lip, wrestling with conflicting emotions as they turned the corner, and suddenly, the park was in sight. It was picturesque, a vibrant oasis in the city, alive with laughter and the distant sound of music. As they reached the entrance, Jenna felt her heart swell with a mix of warmth and trepidation. "Mom, look at all the flowers!" Lily exclaimed, rushing toward a vibrant flower bed bursting with colors. "Be careful, sweetie," Jenna called, yet she couldn't help but smile at Lily's innocence. A wave of nostalgia washed over her. How many times had they visited places like this before? Before the chaos, before life had spiraled out of control. "Want me to take a picture of you two?" Adam offered, pulling out his phone. Jenna hesitated, the old instincts kicking in. But then she noticed Lily stepping closer to Adam, her small hand reaching out toward him. It was a simple gesture, instinctive as children often were, and Jenna felt her heart clench. "All right," she said finally, her voice shaky. They posed under a blooming cherry tree, Adam crouching down to meet Lily at her level. Jenna felt the beauty of the moment seep into her. Their laughter rang out, genuine and carefree, and she snapped a picture. In that frozen instant, hope blossomed through the cracks of her heart. Nevertheless, a nagging voice whispered doubts. What if this moment was a facade? What if tomorrow held a realization that shattered everything? "Let's grab an ice cream after this," Adam said as they finished their photo session, his eyes sparkling like the sun overhead. Jenna forced another smile. Sure, why not? Just then, the world around them faded into a blur as another figure caught her eye across the swaying trees. A woman with familiar blonde hair was walking down the path. Jenna's breath caught in her throat, an icy grip of anxiety tightening around her heart. What was she doing here? Had the past finally come back to claim its price? "Mom?" Lily's voice pulled her back, but Jenna felt as if she were teetering on the edge of a precipice, caught between hope and a past she couldn't escape. What was about to unfold could change everything. Jenna's heart raced, pounding like a drum in her chest. The familiar figure, with hair that glinted in the sunlight, started to approach with a purpose. Jenna clenched her fists, battling the wave of emotions flooding through her. Fear twisted in her stomach. She couldn't let this woman disrupt the fragile moment she had shared with Adam and Lily. "Mom!" Lily tugged at her hand, still focused on the flowers. She was completely unaware, blissfully innocent, and it broke Jenna's heart to think of how this could alter everything. Jenna swallowed hard and tried to shake the anxiety creeping into her thoughts. "Just stay close, okay?" she managed to say, hoping Lily would listen. As the figure drew nearer, Jenna recognized the sharp angle of her jaw, the way she held herself with a mix of confidence and authority. It was Sarah, her sister, or rather, the sister Jenna had distanced herself from years ago. "Jenna," Sarah greeted, her voice smooth yet edged with tension. "I didn't expect to see you here." "What are you doing here?" Jenna shot back, trying to keep the fear out of her voice. "This is not a good time." "I know," Sarah said, glancing at Lily, who was momentarily distracted by a butterfly dancing nearby. "I came to talk. Please, just give me a minute." A part of Jenna wanted to agree, to understand why Sarah had suddenly appeared like a ghost from the past. However, the shadows of their history loomed large between them. We don't have anything to talk about," Jenna replied, her chest tightening. "Jenna." Sarah took a step closer, her eyes softening. "No, it's been years, but I'm here for Lily. I came back because I can help." "Help?" Rage brewed within Jenna. "You think you can just stroll back into our lives and play the part of the savior after everything?" Adam's laughter brought Jenna back to the present. He was over by the ice cream truck, talking to Lily, who pointed eagerly at the flavors. Jenna felt a pull toward them, but the confrontation with Sarah anchored her in place. "Just listen," Sarah urged, lowering her voice. "Our father is sick, Jenna. The doctors are saying he hasn't got long. If you're willing to put this behind us, I think we could really use you." Jenna felt a rush of emotions at the mention of their father. Their relationship had been rocky, but that always seemed to be held together by the thin thread of family loyalty. The idea of reuniting, of facing the past head-on, left her feeling both hopeful and terrified. "What does that mean for us?" Jenna asked, her voice quieter now, barely able to contain the whirlwind of emotions. "Maybe it means giving our family a chance to heal," Sarah suggested earnestly. "For Lily's sake, if nothing else. What do you want from me?" Jenna felt her walls slowly crumbling, but she couldn't let Sarah see it. She clenched her jaw, determined not to give in. "Just a chance, Jenna. A real chance," Sarah answered, her eyes pleading. "I want to make things right. I want you back in my life and Lily's." As Jenna stood there, torn between the life she had built and the haunting specter of the one she had fled, she felt everything shift. Adam returned, ice cream in hand, beaming like the sun. He was completely unaware of the storm brewing just steps away. "Hey, I got chocolate and vanilla," he said excitedly, handing one cone to Lily and another to Jenna. Jenna forced a smile as she held the ice cream, but felt the icy fingers of dread tightening around her heart. A choice lay before her: a leap toward hope with Adam and Lily, or stepping back into the wreckage of her past with Sarah. Decisions like these felt monumental, and yet, amidst the joy that Adam and Lily offered, the question echoed louder than ever. Could she really embrace the possibility of healing, or was she risking everything for a chance at reconciliation with a sister who had once betrayed her? "Mom, can we go feed the ducks?" Lily's sweet voice cut through Jenna's turmoil, pulling her back to the present. "Of course, sweetie." But as they started to walk away, Jenna found herself glancing back at Sarah. What if this moment truly could change everything? As they turned toward the lake, Jenna's heart raced with uncertainty. Could she face the past, but still protect her future? Just then, a familiar scent wafted through the air, something bittersweet and nostalgic. It was as if destiny itself was knocking at her door. And suddenly, Jenna realized that the hardest decisions might be the ones that could open doors she never thought possible. Lily skipped ahead, her laughter echoing against the serene backdrop of the park. Jenna felt a fleeting sense of peace, watching her daughter interact with the world around her. Adam walked beside her, holding their ice cream cones with a warm smile that momentarily pushed aside the worry gnawing at her heart. As they approached the pond, the sunlight shimmered on the water, casting small, beautiful patterns that reflected a carefree life, one that Jenna desperately wanted for both Lily and herself. Yet, the moment she stole a glance back at Sarah, standing alone amidst the bustling picnic crowd, brought the creeping tension back. A wave of nostalgia washed over her, mingling with anger and regret, swamping her in its wake. "Are you okay?" Adam's voice was low, concern etched on his brow. "You seem distant." Jenna forced out a breath, drawing herself back to the moment. "Yeah, I'm fine. Just thinking." "About?" "Just family stuff." She attempted to dismiss the weight of her thoughts, but it clung to her nonetheless. "Family can be complicated," he said, glancing over his shoulder toward Sarah, who still stood out of reach. He didn't need an explanation. His perceptive nature always made Jenna feel seen, yet exposed at the same time. "Complicated is one way to put it," Jenna replied, her voice laced with irony. Wasn't that an understatement? The trembling thread of history connecting Jenna and Sarah, filled with love, betrayal, and loss, twisted uncomfortably in her mind. Lily abruptly squealed with delight as a group of ducks waddled by, quacking in their peculiar way. Jenna watched her daughter reach into her pocket for breadcrumbs. "Look, Mom, can we feed them?" Her innocent excitement momentarily broke through Jenna's emotional storm. "Of course, Lily," Jenna smiled, torn between the moment and her overwhelming thoughts. She kneeled to help her daughter scatter the breadcrumbs along the shoreline, the ducks flocking around eagerly. The sight of her joyful child tugged at Jenna's heart, igniting a flicker of warmth amidst all that conflict. But even as they fed the ducks, Jenna couldn't shake Sarah's presence. What would it mean to open that door again? The thought sent a cold chill down her spine. The wound caused by betrayal had never fully healed. It pulsed and ached at the thought of revisiting old pain. Adam stooped beside them, his playful spirit lighting the moment. Let 'em fight over it. You know, life's like this. Everyone's scrambling for what they want, but some find a way to share. He laughed, his demeanor contagious. Can't we just all get along? Jenna muttered, her voice distant and reflective. Sometimes you've got to take the leap, Adam said thoughtfully. You've got to trust. His eyes met hers, and she felt a magnetic pull in the longing gaze. Then, as if sensing the emotional weight pressing on her, Lily shouted, "Mom!"
Look, that one got the biggest piece. Her pure excitement brought a smile to Jenna's face again, reinforcing her desire to protect this gleaming happiness. But the moment's brightness dimmed as Jenna's thoughts slipped back to Sarah. How could she trust again? Could families really heal? When Adam wrapped an arm around her shoulders, pulling her close, Jenna was reminded of the stark difference between the love and loyalty she cherished with him and the jagged edges of her troubled past. "Hey, everything will be all right," Adam whispered, sensing her turmoil. "You don't have to make a decision today." But could she do what she needed? Her heart thudded with uncertainty, a heavy weight mixed with a sliver of hope. Just then, the moment shifted as Sarah approached them, her expression earnest yet cautious. "Jenna," her voice trembled slightly, "can we talk now, please?" A mix of concern and obligation flooded Jenna's mind. Could she really face her sister again? What if this would lead to a deeper fracture, or rekindle old flames of hurt? As they all stood at the edge of the pond, the ducks quacking and Lily dancing nearby, Jenna felt that delicate balance shift within her. All she could wonder was if this choice would lead to something beyond family, toward healing, toward genuine love, or would it drag her back into the shadows? Facing the uncertain future, Jenna felt the ground shift beneath her. She could walk away from Sarah, for good, but what would she lose in the process? Could she afford to risk it all again in the hope of healing? The weight of the moment hung thick in the air, heavy with unspoken words and unresolved feelings. Jenna's gaze flickered between Sarah and Adam, her heart racing. Should she step forward into the tangled mess of emotions that swirled around them, or retreat back into the comforting shadows? Lily danced nearby, blissfully unaware of the undercurrents swirling just out of her reach. The ducks quacked and fluttered about, and every laugh from her daughter was a reminder of the joyful life Jenna fought so hard to protect. "Jenna," Sarah urged again, her voice softer now, almost pleading. "I know things have been difficult, but I really want to talk. Can't we at least try?" Jenna inhaled deeply, feeling the warmth of Adam's arm wrapped protectively around her shoulders, grounding her. The love she felt for him battled with the confusion Sarah's presence ignited. "Talk about what?" she asked, her tone wary, as if she could keep the door closed with her words. "About us," Sarah replied, taking a small step closer. "About our past. About healing. Maybe. I know I messed up. I'm sorry. But I want to make things right. For you. For Lily." Jenna flinched at the mention of healing. Healing always felt so fragile. Could they really dive into the wreck of their shared history and emerge whole? Yet underneath her reluctance was a seed of curiosity, mingled trepidation. "Why now?" Jenna shot back, the bitterness lacing her voice. "You had your chance. You walked away. I don't know if I can trust you not to hurt me again." Watching Sarah, Jenna saw fear flicker in her sister's eyes, a mirror to her own. They stood at a crossroads, and one wrong step could send them spiraling. Adam's presence was a warm barrier, but even he couldn't shield her from the storm brewing inside. "I understand your anger," Sarah replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I really want to be a part of your life again. I want to be part of Lily's life. She deserves to know her aunt. We all deserve a chance to heal together." Jenna's throat tightened at the mention of Lily. This was about more than just them. It was about her daughter and the family she envisioned for her. A family that included forgiveness, even if it felt like an uphill battle. A wave of guilt washed over Jenna. How could she shield Lily from pain without closing off the opportunity for growth? Her heart raced, caught between fear and hope, the uncertainty of what her decision could unearth. "Jenna," Lily called out, breaking the palpable tension.
pointing at the ducks. "Can we feed them some more?" Jenna turned to her daughter, her heart softening as Lily's excitement burst forth like sunlight breaking through clouds. Here was life in its purest form, uncomplicated, joyful, alive. But that purity felt threatened by the chaos of her own made decisions. "Just a moment, sweetheart," she replied, her voice trembling slightly. She glanced back at Sarah, the hurt and hope mingling in her gaze. "If we talk, it needs to be honest. No more hiding. Can we do that?" "I promise," Sarah said, her eyes glimmering with sincere determination. Taking a tentative step forward, Jenna felt the stirrings of courage clutch her heart. Perhaps facing this felt like a leap into the unknown, but for the first time in so long, it also felt like a step towards healing. Jenna nodded, feeling the weight lift just a little, despite the looming uncertainty. "Okay, let's talk." As they gathered closer, everything outside them faded, leaving only the rippling water behind. Jenna's heart raced with a tangled web of emotions: fear, hope, trepidation. The beautiful innocence of Lily's laughter faded into the background, preparing her for the heavy conversation ahead. Would this moment lead to the healing they all desperately needed, or would it unravel even further? Jenna could only wonder how deep the wounds really went, and if, after all this time, they could truly heal. Once we start, Jenna thought, her pulse quickening, there's no turning back. Jenna felt the warm sunlight dance on her skin as she turned her focus back to Sarah. The air had shifted from thick tension to an almost electric anticipation, as if nature itself was holding its breath. How long had it been since they truly discussed anything that mattered?
"We need to start from the beginning," Jenna said, her voice steadier than she felt. "From when you left, from the decisions that tore us apart." Sarah nodded, her face growing serious. "I know. I hurt you, and that was never my intention. I was scared and lost. I thought I was protecting myself. But in the process, I lost sight of what really mattered, what we had." For a moment, Jenna felt her heart clash against her ribs. The memories rushed back: laughter shared over late-night talks, the fierce loyalty of sisterhood, then the heartbreak, the silence that followed. Did Sarah really regret it all? "I was left to pick up those pieces alone," Jenna replied, her voice tinged with hurt. "You disappeared. You didn't just leave me. You left Lily too. Do you know how much pain that caused?" The sunlight glittered on the pond as Adam shifted slightly, his reassuring warmth still close, yet not invading. Jenna didn't want to lean on him just yet. She wanted to stand on her own 2 feet during this conversation. "I know, and I know I can't change the past," Sarah replied, her voice breaking slightly. "All I can do is be here now, and I truly want to try, for Lily and for us." The weight of those words lingered in the air. Jenna looked at Sarah, noticing how vulnerable she appeared. The tears welling up in her eyes reflected a deeper remorse. "Do you even understand how much she needs family?" Jenna pressed on, her voice thick with emotion. "She deserves stability. She deserves more than what we've given her. I promise I'll be there for her. I will make it right," Sarah insisted, her tone fervent. "I want to be her aunt, the one you once dreamed I would be." Silence descended like a blanket after that outburst. Jenna felt a flicker of hope and anxiety battling in her chest. Could Sarah really do it? Could she really step back into their lives and bring the promise of family? The sound of laughter broke through the tension as Lily bounded back toward them, a trail of crumbs spilling from her tiny hands. She smiled brightly, utterly unaware of the emotions hanging in the air. "Mommy, look! The ducks love the bread!" Jenna's heart squeezed. This was why she fought so hard, to give Lily joy and safety. But could Sarah fit into that picture again? "Can we have a picnic?" Lily grinned, eyes sparkling like the sunlit waves. "You can bring your favorite sandwiches." "Of course, sweetheart," Jenna replied, unable to suppress a smile. But as she looked at Sarah, the weight returned. The promise of a picnic felt like a fragile spark in an evolving storm.
"And what about you, Sarah? Are you ready for this family? Are you ready to truly be there for her?" The silence that followed stretched long, like a taut string ready to snap. Jenna held her breath. Either they would break apart again, or find some glimmer of hope to start anew. "Whatever it takes," Sarah finally said, her voice quivering yet resolute. "I choose this, if you'll let me. I want to try, for Lily." All at once, the moment felt fragile, a crystal ornament dangling over a chasm, the air charged with possibility, and yet uncertainty loomed like dark clouds on the horizon. Jenna could only stare at Sarah, her heart warring with caution and a tentative longing. The past pulled at her like a weighty anchor, but the potential for something better, the possibility of healing, sparked a flicker of light in the darkness. "Okay," Jenna whispered, her voice cracking, "but this isn't just about you or me. It's about Lily and our family. Promise you won't walk away again." "I promise," Sarah replied, her eyes locking onto Jenna's with fierce intensity. But just as Jenna felt a flickering warmth spread through her chest, Lily squealed, pointing at the ducks once more. "Mommy, look! There are babies!" An instant shift of joy radiated from her daughter. Jenna's heart expanded, but a sense of dread anchored deep beneath her surface. Perhaps the moment of truth was yet to come, waiting just beyond the sunlight glinting off the water. As they turned towards the ducks, Jenna's mind raced with questions. Was this truly the beginning of healing? Could they navigate this treacherous path together? And most hauntingly, could Sarah be trusted again? Lily hopped down the path, her laughter blending with the gentle lapping of the water against the shore. Jenna followed, heartbeats quickening with each step. But as little feet ran ahead, Jenna could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on her. "Mommy!" Lily called excitedly, her eyes glued to a group of ducks quacking around their ducklings. "Look how cute they are!" Jenna smiled at her daughter, the innocence radiating warmth. She turned to Sarah, searching for a glimmer of the sister she once knew. The silence that hung between them now felt heavy, full of promises and unspoken fears. "Can you really do this?" Jenna asked, softer now. "Can you love Lily like she needs?" Sarah looked at Jenna, the sincerity in her eyes undeniable. "I'm scared, Jenna, but I know this is my chance. I can't change what happened, but I want to change the future, for both of you." "Talk is easy," Jenna replied, trying to hide the tremor in her voice. "You have to be more than just words this time. Actions, consistency. She deserves that." "I understand," Sarah said, a single tear spilling down her cheek. "I'm ready to show you. If you give me this chance, I promise I won't let you down again." As Lily bent down to gather the crumbs she had spilled, Jenna's heart was a jumble of hope and fear. Could she really trust Sarah? Each part of her wanted to leap into the light, but the echo of Sarah's past failures clawed at her. "Okay," Jenna finally said, "but take it slow. She won't understand why you're back without an explanation. You can't just swoop in and expect her to forget everything." Sarah nodded, a grateful smile breaking through. "That's all I want, to take it slow, to build it back." Jenna turned to see Lily holding a small duckling, eyes bright and filled with awe. Her heart swelled. As much as she wanted to shield Lily forever, she knew that some things had to change. Family meant embracing the messiness. "Mommy, look! It's so fluffy!" Lily squealed, her smile infectious. Jenna couldn't help but smile back at her daughter. Yet thoughts of Sarah loomed heavy, clouds hovering over this moment of warmth. "Sarah," Jenna started, "this could be the beginning, or it could be another heartbreak. You can't just play the role of the fun aunt. She needs you to step up in bigger ways." "I will," Sarah asserted, now more focused, a firmness to her tone that Jenna hadn't heard before. "Just show me how." As they shared that look of understanding, Jenna felt an odd peace wash over her. Just maybe, they could make this work. Lily released the duckling back into the pond, and the small creature flapped its way back to its mother. Jenna took a deep breath, feeling the weight on her chest ease just a bit. "All right," she sighed, glancing at Sarah again. "Let's have that picnic. Let's start fresh today." Lily clapped her hands, her joy infectious. "Yay! I want sandwiches and fruit and cookies!" As they spread out the blanket, laughter filled the air again as the sun dipped lower. The unease was still there, lurking just beneath the surface, but moments like this made it feel less overpowering. Yet, as Jenna watched Lily and Sarah begin to bond over snacks, an unsettling thought flickered in the back of her mind. Could this be just a temporary fix? In the bright warmth of the sun, shadows still danced on the edges, hinting at the challenges ahead. "Sarah," she called, suddenly serious again, "if we do this, it won't just be together on days like this. Can you commit to the hard days? Can you stand firm when pressures arise?" "Let's not wait until then to see," Sarah replied, her voice firm yet tender. "Let's build on this, together. I want to be in this with you, in the hard and the easy." Then, out of nowhere, an unexpected flurry of feathers caught their attention. A flock of ducks took flight overhead, soaring through the sunlit sky as Lily shouted in delight. That chaotic moment snapped Jenna's thoughts away, but the question remained, spinning like autumn leaves in an unseen wind. Could they truly navigate the stronger storms that lay ahead on this journey toward healing? Or was it destined to crash land once more into the uncertainty of the past? Jenna watched as the ducks gracefully took flight, their silhouettes gliding against the bright sky. A thrill ran through her daughter, who bounced with excitement, revealing the pure joy that little moments can bring. For a fleeting second, everything felt right. "Look at them go, Mommy!" Lily exclaimed, eyes sparkled with wonder. Jenna felt a wave of warmth wash over her, pulling her back to the joy this day had promised. "Absolutely incredible," Jenna smiled, but deep inside, questions clawed at her heart. Could this fragile piece be sewn from the frayed edges of their lives? Could trust, once found, be truly restored? "Do you really want this, Sarah?" she asked intensely, her gaze never leaving her sister's face. "If we're going to do this, it can't just be me making it work. You need to show up every day, not only on sunny picnics like this. Will you commit?" The breeze tugged at the edges of their blanket, and Jenna could see a flicker of resolve igniting in Sarah's eyes. "Yes," she replied, the gravity of the moment flooding her voice. "I'm here, and I want to show you that I can be trusted. Just give me a chance." Jenna gave a slight nod, still wary, but feeling something beginning to shift within her, a small thread of hope weaving itself into her heart. They both knew the path ahead was a rocky one, filled with memories that would bubble up like long-hidden secrets. But if they truly aimed for healing, they would need to embrace it all. "Okay," Jenna said, her voice steady. "This is a start, but let's make sure we talk when times get tough. Please promise me you'll reach out." "I promise," Sarah offered, her sincerity alarming, cutting through the tension like a knife. Lily laughed, jumping up and down by the pond's edge, oblivious to the weighty conversation swirling around her. "Mommy, let's play. Can we chase the ducks?" she cried, tone spilling over with childhood innocence. With a soft chuckle, Jenna shook her head. "You might scare them away. Just focus on enjoying the moment, sweetie." For a moment, the heaviness of the past faded away as they joined in Lily's laughter. They shared cookies, traded stories, and opened their hearts bit by bit. But as the sun began to dip on the horizon, casting a warm golden hue over the park, Jenna suddenly felt the familiar pull of dread again. How long could this miracle of connection last? Would Sarah genuinely stay committed, or would the shadows of their history conquer them both? "Maybe we should think about future plans," Adam chimed in, his voice grounded and calm, a reminder of his constant presence that had become their anchor. "Start simple, maybe a weekly dinner. That would be a good way to keep building." Jenna turned to him, grateful for his supportive nature. "That sounds perfect," she agreed, glancing at Sarah, whose expression lit up with understanding. Having that regular commitment could help us all. Yes, Lily chimed in, clearly excited by the idea of more family time. I want you both there. Can we eat pasta and cookies? Always cookies. Yes, Jenna laughed, her heart swelling with affection for her daughter. Could they learn to rise above the past and create something beautiful? Could they truly heal? As the sun sank lower, the gathering darkness felt both inviting and daunting. Jenna took a breath, the sweet scent of evening blossoms filling the air. We will have to discuss everything, set clear boundaries. I have to know Lily is safe, her well-being comes first. That's fair, Sarah acknowledged, her voice serious. I would never want to jeopardize that again. And even as apprehension still lingered, Jenna noticed something tangible in Sarah, a glimmer of determination that had previously been absent. Could this be real? Just then, a small hand tugged at Jenna's shirt. "Mommy, let's go find more ducks!" The joyful interruption pulled away the weight of questions lingering in the air. Jenna's heart softened fully. "All right, lead the way," she grinned, letting their laughter wash over her. As they ventured to the water's edge, Amy felt the flicker of hope transform into something more, like a promise whispered across the stars. At that moment, amidst the chaos of life, they were a family, forging their way back toward connection. With every step, Jenna whispered a silent prayer for the journey ahead. The fears and anxieties remained shadows lurking about, but perhaps they could learn to navigate this new and uncertain terrain together. The sounds of the world faded behind them. Laughter echoed in the air as both Lily and Sarah reached out, hands intertwined as they raced alongside the park's edge. If healing were what they sought, Jenna realized they would face it together. And for the first time in a long while, she felt the warmth of possibilities stretch before them, lighting the way towards a future brimming with hope and love. As they chased those ducks into the twilight, their connection became a testament to resilience. This was only the beginning, and maybe, just maybe, they would make it through the storms together. Now is the moment to take action, my friends. You need to subscribe now to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories that will inspire you. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help get these amazing narratives out there. Comment your reactions and feelings about this incredible ending. Your thoughts matter. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support is what keeps this channel alive. Let's not let it go unnoticed.